This podcast is brought to you in part by P&P Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at their 2 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Alrighty, everybody, and welcome to the Touch of Gaming podcast. This is episode number 140. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison. And joining me with a fresh haircut, Jared Schultz.
Yes, it is. It was getting warm outside because, tomorrow's the summer solstice and everything. So it was due for a haircut.
Right. I had a haircut as well and a face haircut. So it's haircutty on the show this week. A lot of trimmings everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't come up with a better segue. It's been a while since I've done a show, so I'm out of practice. My bad. All right, well, let's get into
the best of us.
It does, and hopefully they can one time tell me their secrets so I can learn. Let's get into the show. As I said, this is episode number 140. We're recording this on June 20th of 2013. Some people have been wondering where the shows have been lately. It looks like my blog or my web host, my server got hacked yet again. Seems to be kind of a biannual thing. So it's fun. I'm cleaning it up now, and with real life kind of basically jumping front and center, I've had little to no time to do that. So hopefully that'll be done soon. The backlog of old shows will start flowing, and then everything should get back to a normal recording schedule. So my apologies for anybody that's been looking for shows and hadn't seen anything, but we're trying to fix that. So hopefully this will be the start of that after we get these shows recorded tonight. All right, man. It's been a while. What you been up to? What have you been doing lately? What's new? Bought a new house, bought a new car, travel the world, anything like that?
Starting a new job.
Oh, okay.
Same company, different job.
New place?
Yep.
I mean, not a new place, same place, new job?
Yeah, it's like 2 aisles over from where I'm currently at.
So you get to wheel your chair from one cubicle to another cubicle.
More or less.
That's awesome. So excited? When is this happening?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's in the next few weeks, so
very cool.
Good transitioning. It's a bit of a promotion, so that's good.
Promotions are always good. Well, congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, you asked, so I had to come up with something, and that's happening.
That is happening. That is a thing. You are accurate again, just like in our pre-show, Jared.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on here. Anything with you? Anything new, exciting?
Oh boy, so many new things, and all mostly stuff that I cannot talk about on air right now. It's been one hell of a ride for the last couple weeks. It's been interesting. My life has been wonderful, but things are on the up and up. And as I said, getting some time can fix the site, get everything back up and running, and we will. We'll be back and running with the podcast network, getting these shows out for people so they can listen to them.
Sounds great.
Well, it sounds like something anyway. Well, let's cut this intro ramble short and let's get into what we've been playing. So, Jared, why don't you tell us what you have been playing?
So, I have had a hole in my heart because I always need to have some sort of freemium game that I'm checking into a lot. And my brother finally talked me into one that has been around a while, and everyone is well aware of it. But that is Clash of Clans.
It's been
Clash
like
of
number
Clans.
one on the top earners forever.
Yeah, so it's been forever that Clash of Clans has been, top grossing, and tons of people play it. And I finally decided that it was worth it for me to go figure out what all the excitement and fuss was about. So I picked up Clash of Clans and have been playing Clash of Clans for the past 2 weeks. I enjoy it. It gets kind of slow, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It does better than most of these freemium games at being able to get to the point where you can just kind of forget about it for a while.
Right.
I can set it up and come back in like say 15 hours and nothing crazy has happened. I probably got attacked because you get attacked all the time, but besides that, it's not like I'm going to lose a bunch of potential income or anything like that because I didn't log in all the time.
Right.
It's good though. I enjoy it. It's I can see where people are spending a whole ton of money on it. I currently don't have a clan. So that I don't know how much that changes my enjoyment of the game.
So you're just clashing by yourself, clashing alone?
I'm clashing by myself, all by myself. Anyway, so I have about 800 trophies, and so if any listeners out there have a nice clan that they want me to join, I'll join them. I don't know if I'll keep playing it, but for right now, it's a good freemium game to have around. Yeah, I enjoy the strategic element. You go and you find people to attack, and you want to attack people who have a lot of money and maybe weaker defenses, and then you have to go through and you get a place where your troops come on, and there's a lot of strategy there, trying to make sure that you have put your troops in the right place, and yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoy it. In terms of freemium games, it's pretty good. I've been playing a game called Scurvy Scallywags. Scurvy Scallywags is a match 3 game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into it too much because you decided to review it this time.
Yes.
So I may have a few inputs there. How far did you get in it? Are you pretty far in it?
Yes.
So have you ever died in it?
Yes. Multiple times.
Have you ever died and not had money to revive yourself?
Yes. Numerous times.
That is like one of the most frustrating experiences.
Really? I don't find it that bad. We'll get into it when I do my review.
When you're in like 3 islands or 4 islands and all of a sudden you die and you have to start all over. Anyway. I'm not going to lie. When that happened to me, that was like what stopped me from getting to the point where I could review this game, because I was just so mad because I died. And I didn't have the money to revive myself. Then I've been playing a whole bunch more of Warhammer Quest. The game has a lot of content. It's really, really good. It's a fantastic game. It's a good reimagining of the tabletop game. And I really, really like it. It's just a game that, you can sit and you can play, and the way that they have it set up, sometimes you can play for 5 minutes or you can play for an hour, and it works really, really well. I really like this game. I hopefully will be able to, I could probably review it pretty soon, but it's really, really good. I like it a lot. And, it is turn-based strategy. It is a little bit slower. It does even slow down even a bit from other turn-based strategies, because it gets a lot harder to level up your characters, and then you have to save money forever to get better material or better items.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it's a really good game. Really, really impressed with it, and you can have a ton of fun with this one. And then the last game I'm going to talk about on what I've been playing is Agricola. So
isn't that a lozenge and guys blowing to horns in the commercials?
I believe that's just Ricola.
Oh, sorry.
This is Agricola.
Oh.
So if you've listened to this podcast very long, you know that I'm a really, really big fan of board games, and just all sorts of board games. I have a board game night every other week with a bunch of guys that we get together and play board games. Big fan of board games, and this is one of the ones that it's been waited for a long time. It's put together by the guys at Playdeck, who have a really, really good history, and if I had a board game that was very popular, I would want to go with Playdeck to have them make the game, because they They make really good tutorials to help people figure out the game, and they also do a really good job at just the user interface for it. It's a little more expensive. It's playable both on the iPod and the iPad, which it does feel a little cramped on the iPod, but that's to be expected because usually this is a big board game. But yeah, it's really really cool. So if you're into board games, Agricola, I'm not sure this is the best way to learn Agricola, but if you've ever heard of it, then you should pick up this version because it allows you to play mobile. They also have asynchronous play, and yeah, it's a really good game. So Agricola, I'll probably review it in a few weeks. I know I said the same thing about Eclipse. Maybe I'll just have like a board game show where I review my board games that I need to play more of. And again, if you're interested in playing it with me, just drop me a line, and I'll be happy to, either in the forums or anywhere else. And I'd love to play some asynchronous games with people. So,
Cool.
yeah, that's what I've been playing. What have you been playing?
Wow, you've been playing a lot. I've been playing a lot of. I've been playing a lot of stuff, but not on iOS. It's been we've had an embarrassment of riches across all the other platforms. So I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing New Leaf on my 3DS. I mean, I've put so much time into this game already, and it's the same game that I've played for probably hundreds of hours on other platforms. Yet, as soon as I fired it up, I was sucked right in and fishing and catching bugs and selling stuff. This version has so much more customization where you can actually choose buildings and stuff that appear. It is so good. It is so good. Yeah, and as Steven in the chat room saying, it's not the same, it's better. And that's exactly right. It's the same game. With the core of it, 95% of the game is exactly the same, but so much more has been added to it to just make it a bit of a different experience. They've also done things like have you ever played it, Jared?
I'm sorry, what game? I was typing in the chat room.
Animal Crossing.
No, I've never gotten into Animal Crossing
ever. So what they've done is there's always like animals that come and live in your city, and you chat with them every day and stuff like that. And they're oftentimes like really like angry, and they get pissed off, and then they leave your city. They seem to have tweaked that a little bit because it doesn't seem to happen as much now. So you don't have to like chat with them all the time. It's good. Everything that was kind of annoying with the older versions is kind of better with this one. So I've been playing a lot of that. Also downloaded Last of Us on release day, and then proceeded to not play it for multiple days because I had UFC 161 was in Winnipeg, so I was attending all the events and getting autographs, and got a ring card signed by the Ring Girls, which was pretty cool, and met a bunch of fighters, and it was a lot of fun. But I was basically not around video games, which kind of sucked because I was at these events and having so much fun, and then I was like, oh, I kind of want to be playing Last of Us right now. So anyway, Father's Day was on Sunday, so I spent a good chunk of the day playing games, and then again evenings leading up, and I finally beat it the other day. And I don't know, I think The Last of Us has kind of ruined me for video games on a console. I picked up Remember Me, which is kind of this French developed game where you're jumping into people's memories and stuff. And the game sucks because I played it right after playing probably one of the best video games that I have ever like touched. So it's like, oh no, I've ruined video gaming for myself by playing the ultimate video game. So, yeah, so I've been playing a lot of stuff on consoles, but we'll get to iOS since it's an iOS podcast. I've been playing The Simpsons Tapped Out a fair bit. They added a huge content patch that's 5402. Is that that's your game time in the game? 54 hours, Steven? Holy crap, that's more than me. Sorry. I've been playing The Simpsons Tapped Out. They added a huge content patch that adds kind of a water, kind of like a boardwalk thing. And they've made it really evil. So to place more boards in your boardwalk, you pretty much have to wait a full day to get another section. So I've been playing a lot of that, just kind of doing those quests and building out my boardwalk. Skylanders Lost Islands, I know you were addicted to it, and then you weren't, Jared. Sorry, I'm looking at Steven's messages and still kind of blown away that he's played 54 hours already.
Yeah, you gotta ignore the chat room when you're talking, man.
Oh,
It's going so fast right now.
it's so tough. So Skylanders Lost Islands, I know you played a lot, Jared, and
I played a ton of it.
they've added a whole bunch of new features to it, and now they're teasing something in the game that says an event that will change the islands forever is about to happen on Friday. So it's like, wow, this is getting exciting. I want to figure out what's happening. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of that as well, and having a lot of fun. It's probably just like we had another island, yay, or something equally as stupid. But I'm getting kind of hyped up for that a little bit. Been playing Scurvy Scallywags, as we said. I'll be reviewing it in this episode, and picked up an app called Watch Dogs Live. This is a iOS kind of a pre-advertising app for the Watch Dogs game that is coming out on every console imaginable. And it's really neat. It's this AR, or not AR, it's a location-based game. You basically go to real parts in your city, and there'll be little icons that point at different things. So if it's a park, there'll be a park sign, and you tap on them, and then you try to hack them and take them over. And it's a game to basically take over the most number of places, level up. When you level up, you can choose to make things like hacking easier or defense easier. And it's pretty much that. I like it because I'm addicted to Watch Dogs. I watched all the videos at E3. I'm super hyped for that game when it comes out. And this is just a little bit of Watch Dogs love on your iOS device. So I've been playing a little bit of that as well. It's
cool.
nice to get out there and walk around every once in a while.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's get into the show. Let's start it off like usual with our notable releases. Got a couple good ones. XCOM Enemy Unknown. This is a game that came out like 7 or 8 months ago on consoles. It was many people's game of the year last year. It was just released for free as a PlayStation Plus game, so I have it on PlayStation Plus. But I'm tempted to pick this one up. It hit the App Store. It is the full game. It doesn't have multiplayer yet. That's going to be a free patch that they're going to put in. There's a few maps that have been edited out of the game just for size constraint issues. But you can get XCOM Enemy Unknown for $20 on the App Store. It's a AAA game, $60 on disc. You can probably find it for $40 now. Or if you have an iOS, a newer iOS device like the new iPads or an iPhone 5, you can play it while you walk around the world or sitting on a bus. It's a pretty amazing time we live in, Jared.
It really is.
You don't need a console. You have a $500 tablet that does everything and also plays those games. It's pretty crazy. So I'm super stoked about that, and I'm like this close to picking it up, even though I have it on the console and I can play it for free. But I kind of want to play it on my iPad.
Yeah, I've been having the same thing, trying to decide whether or not I go and pick it up, even though I own it on PC. I picked it up for some like $15 sale on PC, and
right,
man, it's tempting.
Yeah, it's something I want to get. So yeah, I probably will pick it up because I'm stupid like that. I can't not do something if I even kind of want to do something. So we'll see what happens. Other games, Splinter Cell Blacklist Spider-Bot came out. And that is a free app that kind of ties into the new Splinter Cell game that's coming out. And it's basically a puzzle game. You use these little spider bots and you solve puzzles and stuff like that. Pretty cool thing. Of course, Watch Dogs Live, I already mentioned that, which is free. And Where's My Mickey for 99 cents, which is a Where's My Water, Where's My Perry, and now it's Where's My Mickey. So Disney is basically milking this game franchise for as much as they possibly can.
You know, I've been playing a little bit of it.
On your iPhone, right?
On my iPod, yeah.
Or iPod, I mean, on your phone-sized iOS device.
True, yeah. And it's in some ways maybe the best version yet.
I should hope so.
I know that, you know, it's another one and it feels like a cash-in, but it's pretty good. So they're doing little things to make it a little bit different, and just I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep looking at it here in the next little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, it seems kind of weird that they keep repeating the same game. But I mean that happens. Sequels, whatever. That's not such a huge thing. What really is a huge thing to me is that they're still releasing the games as iPhone version and iPad version. It's like, what year do we live in, people? Let's start making every app universal. It just makes sense.
Yeah, especially where they're such a big publisher, you think they'd be able to figure that out.
Yep. Exactly. All right, moving on. Let's get into the news. First up, there's a sale. We usually don't talk about sales just because they are often gone by the time the show gets posted, even though if we were like even posted the same night, sometimes these sales are over. But this one's pretty big. Infinity Blade 2 is on sale for 99 cents. I think this is the first time that Infinity Blade 2 has been $1. They've had, I believe, a couple sales, dropped it down to a few bucks. I think it was $2.99 for a while. But now if you want to get Infinity Blade 2, 99 cents is a damn good price to pick it up. It's that's that hack and slash from Epic Games. It's good, really, really good. And for $1, it's even better.
Yeah, it is still a really, really good game. It's obviously it's a little bit older, but it's still in a lot of ways has probably the best graphics that's ever come out on the iOS device. So
yeah, for sure, it's really nice. All right, so go pick it up, Infinity Blade 2. Moving on, this is an update to an app that I really liked. We talked about it. You played this one as well, didn't you, Jared? Or no? Or we talked about it on the show. Knights of Pen. You don't even know what I'm saying. So how could you even answer that question?
Yeah, you didn't tell me what game. Knights of Pen and Paper. Yes, I played it a ton.
Knights of Pen and Paper just received an update. So if you've deleted it off your iOS device, download it again. You'll get a new version. It is now Knights of Pen and Paper +1. They've added a +1 modifier to this game to make it better. Gives you a bunch of new content, a bunch of new areas. The campaign goes on longer. There's new tavern and dungeon raid stuff, new loot. It's basically all sorts of awesome that was already in an awesome game. And it is it's a free update. So if you already own it, the $3 game Knights of Pen and Paper, you can basically get that +1 update for free. Do download it, do get it if you own the game, because they've added a lot of awesome to it. So do check that one out.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, is that they picked up a publisher in order to get it onto the PC, and part of their deal with their publisher is that they were able to get a bunch more, money to fund more development, and it was really cool to me that they didn't charge any extra money to pick it up again on, because they could have very easily said an in-app purchase of some sort, or something like that. Because
I think it is an in-app purchase for the PC version, I think.
Yeah, and they just released it and said, here you go. Thanks for supporting us early, and here's all this extra content. So I actually re-downloaded the game because it had fallen off, because I'm really hoping to go back and check it out. I played it when it very first came out, and it looks like a whole new game. Like they've done a lot of support to it, and it's really impressive. And it's kind of crazy because the game is $10 on Steam if you want to go get it. So yeah, it's a great place to play, and I think it's a great game, and it's cool that they keep supporting it. So
yeah, I just as you said, I really kind of appreciated the fact that it's like, hey, you guys kind of made us a success. So here you go. Here's the update for free. That was a really nice thing to do. So pick it up. It's a really great game for $3 even. It's there's a hell of a lot of content in this game, and if you've already owned it, or you already own it and it's already on your device, a free update is even better. All right, moving on. This one was just bizarre, so I had to throw it in. Snoop Dogg, or Snoop Lion, as he wanted to be called, but I guess now he's Snoop Dogg again. I don't know the details of the dog anymore. I've kind of fallen off that. He basically starred in a game that was released in May on the Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network. It was called The Way of the Dog. And if you were sad that you could not download Way of the Dog on your iOS platform, well, don't be sad anymore. Dry those tears. His game, Way of the Dog, is now available on the iOS App Store. So you're probably asking what it is. And that's a really good question. I don't really know. I've watched videos, and I don't really know. It's like a brawler set to rhythm action. So it's kind of like Elite Beat Agents, that type of rhythm action game where you're tapping dots when they get to a certain area. But as you do that, and if you do really well, your character beats up the other character on the other side of the screen. So it's like a fighter, and then you do special moves and things like that. And then if you do really, really well, tapping to the beats of one of his songs, you win. And then you go on to the next battle. It's just like, this is a weird blend of genres that I never thought would go together. Rhythm, action, and fighting, where they really focus on the combat, but you're not actually doing any combat. I don't know. Really bizarre. It is available now on the iOS App Store if you were like super eager to get it. It's $3, and I guess it just shows that iOS games, they're kind of mainstream now. A lot of people are putting out games that maybe wouldn't have put out games before. So go check it out. Way the Dog, $2.99 on the App Store.
I have no comment on that one.
No, it's just I watched the videos and I'm like, this is a thing, and then now it's on iOS. It's like, wow, I guess it really is a thing. I knew it was a thing, but this is really, really a thing. It's now on multiple platforms. Bizarre. All right, moving on. I guess we missed a lot of the E3 news since we didn't do a show last week. I just kind of wanted to mention a few things that popped up. I heard about some of the second screen stuff that was going to be shown off through a friend of a friend of a friend. And sure enough, there was a lot of second screen stuff shown. A couple games, Battlefield 4, Watch Dogs, or The Division. They basically showed full other sections of the games that will be playable on an iOS or other tablet device. Like for Battlefield 4, you can send multiple drone strikes. Dead Rising 3 was another one as well. Watch Dogs, people can actually do hacking and team up with people on their iOS devices or other devices. And The Division, which was a kind of a team-based multiplayer shooter set in kind of an open world type thing. You can have people join your crew. You can call them, and they can basically come in with a little attack drone, basically on their iPad, and then do stuff, and then leave your party. It's just really bizarre. Division looks really stupid. What are you doing, Jared?
I opened an envelope.
Oh, I was like, wow, you're dragging something across your microphone. It was really weird. Like The Division looks really, really amazing. And the cool thing about The Division, so unlike Battlefield, where you just get a map, kind of like a stylized map, the map that you're looking in The Division was like a full 3D world that you can kind of explore from a top-down portion. So it's kind of like the full game, but different. So it makes me wonder if these are going to be free apps that they're going to basically give away to entice people to download them and play with them, to assist people that have paid the $60 in the console version. So you get a taste. You don't get the full game, but you help out the people that get the full game. A lot of really, really, really cool stuff. Sinister in the chat room said Dead Rising 3, which I already mentioned. And the cool thing about Dead Rising 3 is the app in the game is a phone, or the device in the game is a phone, and it's an app for a phone. And you find things in the world, like you might find apps or ringtones or text message sounds, and all those things then get transferred to your phones. So you find a phone and you find a ringtone, and then you set that as your ringtone. So in the app on your actual iPhone, that is your ringtone in the app, but then you can also save it as the ringtone outside of the app. If you want a different powers, you find an app download code in the game, which then modifies the fake app that's on your real device. It's like this weird kind of like breaking down the fifth wall. It's so bizarre. But I saw that and it's like, okay, I want that. I wasn't excited about Dead Rising 3, but I kind of want to get it now because now it's going to have this weird app thing. Of course, it's a Microsoft's, is it Microsoft exclusive, Sinister? I can't remember. I think it is. And if that's the case, then it will only be Windows Phone. But I hope it's they've left it open to go multi-platform so that you can use an iOS device as well. Some really cool things. It's going to be an exciting fall and winter Christmas time for us here on iOS. There's going to be so many other experiences we can have. that maybe won't even cost us anything. Maybe they'll just be freemium experiences. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out already, just do some searching for Second Screen E3 2013 on Google, and you'll see a lot of really great games being shown off that basically have people doing really cool stuff on their iOS tablet. Really, really, really kind of cool. What do you think about that stuff, Jared? Are you excited about it? Does that get you happy?
I think there's some games that could use it really, really well. So I'm excited to see what happens with it. I think as with any new thing, it takes a while for developers to figure out how to use it well. So
yeah,
we'll see. But another big event that happened last week was WWDC.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of the big thing that everyone knows about is iOS 7. iOS 7 was introduced. Things may or may not change, but it was shown to developers and in preparation so that they can work with it when the new it usually comes out with new hardware. So when new hardware comes out this fall, additionally, everything looks flat and different, and we'll see. Looks different.
Yep.
Some people like it, some people don't. So you can go look at it and make your decision. And probably the bigger announcement was that there was going to be official game controllers. There's been a couple that have been shown, and the rumor is that there were a lot more shown kind of behind closed doors at WWDC.
Right.
There's a couple different ways that these are managed. Some are like one kind of looks like it looks kind of like a Pro Controller Plus for the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of hooks up through Bluetooth. And then there's another one that looks like it actually sets on your iOS device, kind of making it a little bit bigger, but also giving you buttons of different sorts. So it looks really interesting. There's a lot of rumors that these are a lot farther along than Apple let on. And I think that it really could change a lot of things. Perhaps, as often happens, it seems to me that it's kind of a play to really it'll affect the iOS gaming market some, but I don't think it's going to change it a lot. The one nice thing will be that there will be a standard.
Yeah.
They're certifying iOS controllers, and if you do that, then as long as you have a certified controller, then it'll work, which is fantastic because that's something that we've complained about. And everyone making these controllers, it's great, and they add a lot to it, but it's so much nicer to have one certified, so they have one instruction set so that everyone can program for it.
Yeah, and I think even more than that, they're making a standard for what the controllers the features are, and they're going to allow multiple developers or multiple hardware manufacturers to make them. They were apparently showing off prototypes of the Logitech one, but there was also, what's the name of that Android one, like the Moga or MOBA or whatever?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I can't remember what it's called, but there's a really popular Android external controller. And there was apparently a prototype of one that runs in iOS 7 that was being shown at some of the developer sessions. So even better than just Apple making one that not everybody will like, there could be basically the same buttons, the same functionality, but made by multiple different developers, so that maybe the design aesthetics are a little bit different on one that you like, or maybe one has only one analog stick, or maybe the other one has two analog sticks. Like there could be some differences in the controllers, which maybe some people will like. But as long as they follow the spec and get certified, it's going to work with all the games that support the new like iOS controller SDK or whatever the heck they're going to call it. So really exciting news. Made me super, super excited. And I can't wait to find out more about that. The Logitech one looks really cool, but I want to see some of the other really fancy things that come out as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I think it might ruin some of the portability. That's one of my fears, but I guess if I'm playing around the house, it would be much more comfortable. I know that sometimes if I'm playing on just the one, my thumb will kind of hurt if I've been playing for too long.
Sure.
So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good, to every once in a while have a game and maybe not have your greasy fingers all over it. But then I think the other place where this has maybe even more of an impact is Apple TV. I mean,
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go next. I mean, they're calling Apple TV a hobby. It's a hobby. It's a hobby. It's a hobby. Then you hear rumors of Apple wanting to basically set it up as a gaming device in everybody's living room using iOS and iOS, iPad or iPhone games, but projecting on the big TV in your living room. Now, if you have a game controller, I mean, you pretty much have at least an Ouya or a game stick, and if not, maybe a little bit more than that. So that's really exciting. And you see big companies like 2K Games saying that they're basically going to be releasing games day and date on iOS that they do on the consoles. And it's like, really? How is that going to work? And then you see announcements for game controllers. It's like, oh, okay, well, that makes a little more sense why you're going to have iOS versions and other versions shipping at the exact same time, because they're going to have similar controllers. I think this is really needed. Like, there's that whatever it's called, like the Moga or whatever. I wish I knew what it was called, because I feel really stupid now that I can't remember the name. But everybody's like, oh yeah, Android rocks. Android's the best place to play games because you have physical controllers and so many games support it. Well, now that's no longer a thing, or soon it's no longer a thing, because iOS will support the same thing and there'll be hardware out there. Personally, I carry around my 8-bitty with me in my little my iPad bag that I have. So I always have my 8-bitty in my bag in case I want to play a game that uses it. There's like dozens of apps that support it. If I could have hundreds of apps that would support another controller from Apple, I'd be a heck of a lot more happy about it, and I would buy one day one for sure. It's really, to me, it's really, really exciting.
Yeah, to me, it seems like it's a total Trojan horse move that, they get iOS developers starting to use it, and then they announce that, hey, we're allowing apps on the new Apple TV. And if they were to do that, I'd probably pick up an Apple TV.
Yeah.
Before this, I haven't really seen a point to it. And, that to me is just massive. And so it's one of those things that it's all speculation at this point. So we probably won't speculate too much, but it really could have a massive impact on iOS gaming come the fall.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And the beauty thing about Apple TV is you don't even need apps on the Apple TV for it to really play as one. You just need to have an iOS device in your house and AirPlay. So at the very minimum, it could be that. But I just like you, I hope that that Apple kind of relents a little bit on that and does allow like real apps to come out on the device, because that would be really cool as well. So yeah, some really big news at WWDC. I'm really looking forward to see what comes forth in the next few months. Did they release an iOS 7 release date? They just said like September, October timeframe, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, there's no date on it.
So, because I know at the last WWDC, they're like, yeah, and you're going to get iOS 6 on blah. And they basically gave an actual date. And that didn't happen this time. So I'm hoping it's soon. I can put it on my device now because I'm a developer, but I've heard that there's some major bugs. So I'm not jumping quickly to get it done. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited. This although I didn't watch the keynote because I was doing other things, mainly watching the Microsoft press conference. Some of the stuff that came out of WWDC is really, really exciting, especially for the gamer lot that were there. Cool. All right, moving on. Last but not least, or I guess last and now least, really interesting story popped up today, I believe. Or yesterday, and that is the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, which was released a few months back. When was it actually released? It was maybe 6 months ago, something like that. That was on iOS, on the iOS App Store, was basically pulled, and people were kind of wondering what it was. So the Beamdog president, Trent Oster, basically sent out a letter to people that was then posted on the Enhanced Edition's website. It says that we recently removed Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition from sale on Beamdog and on the Apple App Store. We've taken this step at our publishing partner's request as we attempt to resolve a number of contractual issues. Unfortunately, until this matter is resolved, we're unable to release the latest Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition patch or Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition for Android. This also prevents the launch of Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition, and I sincerely apologize for the series fans, and we promise we're working diligently to remedy the situation. So basically, they're not offering up any information because I guess maybe they're going through ongoing litigation or something. But I guess their Atari's legal reps said, yeah, let's pull that. You got to pull it off your sites because something is not right here. Which I don't know is kind of crappy. They got a contract to publish this game, and then now maybe some other rights holder popped up or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the rumor flying around that I've heard and actually makes a lot of sense is that it's in preparation for Atari because they're selling off all their assets at auction
Right.
because they're in a bankruptcy.
Right. I forgot about
So
that. That totally makes
if
sense now.
it that is the most likely cause from what I've seen. I'm kind of bummed about it because it was one of those games that I threw on my wish list and was waiting for a sale or needing something to play or whatever, and now it's gone. So it it's sad, and hopefully they'll be able to get the contractual issues figured out. And if Atari does some sort of IP sale, hopefully whoever buys the IP will say, "Yeah, go ahead and sell it, and just give us a royalty." But um, that's what I'm hearing, and it makes a lot of sense with the timing.
Yeah. It's a bummer, but I guess it's expected when someone's going through bankruptcy filing. They kind of have to put a lot of stuff on hold while all that stuff gets worked through the courts and everything gets sold off that way. So if you've picked it up, you might have a collector's item. If not, well, you missed your chance. Hopefully, there'll be another version available for us to pick up at one point.
Yeah, it seems like most of the games that get pulled from the App Store are things that you wouldn't want to have anyway.
Yeah.
But this one actually is one of those ones that's like, oh man, that's actually a good one to have, and kind of sad that it's not available if people are interested in playing it. So
Cool. All right. Well, that's going to about do it for news. Not as much as we would hope, but we got some good stuff there, especially the whole XCOM thing. That is some big news for us iOS gamers. Hopefully, that is the start of things to come. And maybe we can stop bitching about Square Enix charging so much for their games, because maybe they'll see that, oh, these games aren't full experiences like those ones. Maybe we should charge a little less. But no, they'll probably say, see, someone else is doing it. We could charge more, and then bump the price up even more.
yeah, it's pretty great. We'll see what happens. Square, did they ever raise their price on the Final Fantasy Tactics?
I haven't checked. I downloaded it and I didn't even start it. I mean, I'm a terrible human being that wastes money on iOS games. It's just bad. It's a sickness,
Yeah.
Jared. I tell you, it's a sickness.
Yeah, I have the same thing, especially on those types of games, and it kills me just because I already own it on other platforms, and it went on sale, and I couldn't resist.
Yep. I know how you feel. All right, moving on. Let's get into our game reviews this week. So, Jared, why don't you kick it off with your review?
Just to answer my own question, they have raised the price back up to $16 for iPhone and 18 for iPad. So they're back up to high prices on a very old game. This is why we don't get as mad, because at least Fair Access is bringing out a game that is only 6 months old, and they're cutting off 2/3 of the price
Yeah.
that what it came out. So anyway, yes, I will get to my review and quit talking about Square Enix. My review this week is a little game called Kingdom Rush Frontiers. So this came out 2 weeks ago. It is by, I don't remember, but it is $2.99 on the App Store. I think it's published by Armor Games, I want to say. At least the previous one was. Don't know if they self-published on this one. Ironhide Game Studio. So Ironhide it's a Latin American game developer. Their most big claim to fame is Kingdom Rush, and they followed it up with Kingdom Rush Frontiers. And Kingdom Rush Frontiers is a tower defense game, so just get that out of the way. Yes, it's tower defense. If you hate tower defense, this is not going to make you love tower defense. However, it is an extremely well put together tower defense game. So the way that it works is you get a couple of different types of units. The most you have your knight unit, which are very important to have around because they sit out there and fight the enemy and hold them in their place so that your more damage dealing units, namely your archers and your magicians, can do a lot of damage. And you want to try and catch a bunch in the same place and then hit them with the fourth type of tower, which is one that does splash damage. And so if you get them in a big group, you're hitting a lot of them all at once. So there are lots of different paths. They do a lot of different things in this, and they keep it really they keep it fresh. They keep changing things and moving things around, and then you're in about 5 or 6 levels, and you feel like you're getting the hang of things. And all of a sudden, there's one entrance and two exits instead of what often happens with like two entrances and one exit. So you want to try and catch them right at the front, and then you have to have enough to pick them off at the end. The towers upgrade as you go, and each tower has two specializations. For example, the main knight guys, they can go and level up and become assassins, which are very heavily offense and can steal money, or they can become templars, which have really really high defense, which means that it's good because they can hold off without dying. And like I said, they go get in the road. Additionally, in this game, there are heroes, and you get to take one hero, whichever one you want, with you. You unlock 3 heroes, and this is one thing that, I don't know, felt a little not nice about the game. You have your heroes, and you level them up, and you get 3 of them for free, and you can use them fine. You get one after like level 2, and then one after 4, and then one 6 or something like that. And the cool thing about heroes is you can move it around everywhere on the screen. So if you're having trouble in one particular area, you can move your hero over there. And all the heroes are very different. However, here's the thing about heroes: those 3 are available, and there's an additional 6 available. And mind you, the game is $2.99, and the very basic hero, there are 3 that cost $2.99. Then there are 2 that cost $4.99. And then there's the last guy who appears to be some sort of, dragon, and he costs $6.99. So if you actually wanted to go and get all of the characters, it would cost you like $26 on top of already paying $2.99 for the game.
Wow, is this published by Square Enix by any chance?
Yeah, so that's one definite downside to the game. The way that they get on buying stuff, and then the other thing about it is you get a bunch of gems in it, and you can take them to the shop and buy like super power-ups that are like one-time use items. In general, I don't mind I don't really like to buy one-time use items ever. But in this particular one, luckily they give you enough gems that you can buy the one-time use items that I didn't feel like I needed to go spend a whole bunch of cash on it. But you can also spend real money to get extra gems so that you can get more one-time use items. The one that I didn't actually use the one-time use items almost at all, except for they had one that gives you extra starting cash. And so if I failed a level 2 or 3 times, I would go and just spend a whole bunch of gems and get like 1,000 extra starting cash. And if I did that, I could almost always beat the level. As you're playing the game, you get stars, and the stars are really cool because you can kind of invest them in permanent upgrades for your team. And there are basically the 4 different trees, for one for each of the 4 types of units. And then there's 2 other trees for the 2 spells that you can cast. So the one spell is reinforcements, and you throw those reinforcements out there, and they're pretty weak and they get killed really fast. But they're able to slow the guys down for a minute. And then the other one is like a meteor shower that you call flaming rocks out of the air, and it kills it doesn't kill, but it hurts them pretty badly. The other really cool thing that they did in this game is they've added bosses. Um, there are 3 bosses. They come about every 5 levels because there's, I think, 15 levels in the game. Yep, 15. And the bosses are very tricky. They have a ton of life and they do all sorts of weird things, but the bosses are new and it's very interesting. Um, so overall, if you like tower defense, this one has lots of extra goodness that you can enjoy about tower defense. I really enjoyed it. I have beaten all the levels. I have not gotten all the stars, but I'm really enjoying it. Um, and $2.99 on the App Store. You don't have to buy the extra heroes. I am going to give this game a 4 out of 5. It came very, very close to a 5 out of 5. In fact, I think, yep, I even wrote in the show notes 5 out of 5. The things that really are the annoying part to me is the heroes that cost so much extra money if you want to have the rest of them. And then the other thing that really is that they didn't really do a lot new. It feels very, very safe because it feels so much like the previous games, which I don't think is a bad thing. But yeah, it's if you liked the other one, then you'll like this one. So you should go and pick it up. If you aren't a huge tower defense fan, you're not going to like this one. But it is a really good tower defense and a very good follow-up to Kingdom Rush, the original. So that's Kingdom Rush Frontiers, $2.99 on the App Store.
Cool. Thanks, man, for that review. I'm trying to remember how much I played the first one. I can't even remember if I beat it or not. So we'll see what happens. All right, well, let's get into my review. And I'm going to be reviewing a game called Scurvy Scallywags. 99 cents on the App Store and is really quite awesome. Really, really quite awesome. This is a game that is basically by Ron Gilbert. He's a creator of many, many games, like Monkey Island and some other like old classic point and click games. He came out with this one, and basically at its heart, Scurvy Scallywags is a match 3 puzzle game, but it's so much more than a match 3 puzzle game. So as you're playing the game, you're exploring islands, and actually, no, even before that, you're taking part in a play. And the stuff that happens in the game gets basically said to you in the form of the play. Oh, that's weird. None of my backgrounds or things are working here. That's really bizarre. Having some technical difficulties here.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because they've changed the cost on this game a whole bunch of times. I think it came out at like $1.99, and I bought it then, and it's only been out 3 weeks, and they've already had a 99-cent sale and a free sale.
Yeah, it is really, really, really kind of weird with that. You got to be concerned a little bit when a game is jumping around so much when it first came out. That's usually the sign of, oh my God, this is not a good thing. There's definitely some issues here. Beware, beware, beware. But this game totally is the opposite. They didn't have to basically do anything to the game. They didn't have to put it on sale. They didn't have to do anything to lower the price, because it is pretty darn good regardless. So yeah, it's really kind of a weird one. So the game takes place, you as a pirate playing a part in a play about swashbuckling and stuff like that. And the game itself actually plays out in a match 3 puzzle game. So you are a scallywag and you go do something, and you basically come to a match 3 puzzle game board. You can see a bunch of different items on the screen. And if you match 3, those items disappear and you get them. And depending on what the items are, so if they're something like I'm actually in my game right now that I'm playing, I'm on an ice island. So there's like bear paws and igloos and things like that. Those things are you can basically sell them at the end of the matches for money. And then there's things that are a little bit more important. So there's items like swords, and what the swords do is they give you power. And power is really important because randomly enemies will start appearing on the board. And what will happen is enemies will slowly make their way towards you, either by you making matches, and by making the matches, you move them closer, or every few turns, they will actually take a step closer to you. There's also other class of characters like bosses or other characters that do kind of special moves, and they'll do different things. Maybe they won't walk towards you, but maybe they'll throw a grenade at you that will explode in a couple turns, so you have to get out of the way. So you have to pick up the purple swords. You have to match 3 or more purple swords to start building up your power, because you need as much power as possible, because each level will have multiple enemies. And you can tell that basically at the top right of the screen, there'll be like a little enemy's face with a number below it. And that's the total number of enemies that you'll face in that level. And that's pretty much it. You're basically playing through the game, making matches, collecting items. You get gold and other things. And the more things that you collect, the more you can sell them for, or the more money you can get by selling them. When you beat an enemy, you get a treasure chest, and the treasure chest will spin kind of like a roulette thing to get other bonus items. And that is, in its essence, what Scurvy Scallywags is. And really what makes it kind of interesting is, because of all the stuff that you can do in the game, there's a whole bunch of kind of special moves that you can learn. You learn these special powers. So things like the ability to just switch any two items on the board, no matter where they are, or if it will actually make a match. Usually for me, I use that to get out of danger. So an enemy that has a higher power than what I have is coming to attack me, and he gets really close, and you don't want to lose all your hearts, because then it's game over. So I kind of move out of the way using that item. And then you learn some other ones, like the ability to turn every single gold piece on the board into a sword, the ability to turn the most common items into actual money. So there's a bunch of different powers, and you can only hold 5 of them. So you have to kind of pick and choose. And to keep it interesting, so you're not just spamming these things over and over, each item that you use, except for ones that have a particular cost per use, basically you have to wait for a cooldown. And the cooldown is essentially like a number of turns. So an item might take 60 turns to cool down. Or if it's a big one, like turning everything, all the money into swords, it might take like 300 turns to cool down. So you have to make 300 matches before you can use that skill again. So it's something that you can't use constantly over and over and over and over again, which is pretty interesting. An interesting way to kind of add a little bit of strategy into it, because you want to use the powers because they're cool and powerful, but then it's like, okay, well, I'm almost at the end of this island, so maybe I should wait and use this one a little bit later, because I might need it for a boss level or stuff like that. As I just said, there's bosses in this game as well, and that's essentially it. What they've done with this game is they've added a bunch of other kind of things, like little mini gamey type things, which really aren't mini games, but there's you get quests. So find 5 band-aids, and because you need them. So randomly during levels, you'll see little band-aid items will appear, and then you just move over them with your character, and then they get collected, and then you get a gold bonus. And then there'll be some other ones like kill certain X number of a particular type of enemy, and you do that and you get a gold bonus. And then you use that gold to buy items, to buy equipment, because your character is made up of a hat, a face, a suit of armor, and legs, and a weapon. And each of those items that you're holding gives you a specific power up. So it'll give you more damage, or it'll give you a higher crit chance. So you can do damage without the enemy damaging you when you're getting into battles. So quickly, the game goes from being really, really, really simple to really, really, really complex, and a lot of things to keep your minds on. Some of the items that you find in the game are ship parts, so you can find like wood or sails or different things, and you use that to actually build different ships. The ships don't really do much in the way of taking you anywhere, but the better ship that you have, the more bonus you get. So you might get a bonus to your crit, or you might get a bonus to like cooldowns. So cooldowns take less long, and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I guess the game itself really, really easy to learn, very difficult to master. So much to think about. It is quite possibly one of the better strategy games that I've played on the iPad, just because of the number of layers and the different things you have to worry about. And because it's a Ron Gilbert game, it is incredibly funny in certain areas. Like your main quest in this game is to take part in a play, as I said. But what you're trying to do is find verses of a sea shanty that have been torn up by the bad guy that is trying to, I guess, make you his understudy or become the lead in this play. So like the whole idea behind this game is just like so bizarre, but it's so Ron Gilbert. And yeah, so build your ships, collect your achievements, buy your items, upgrade your character, and play through match 3 puzzle. Every time that you fight an enemy, and it has more power than you, provided you don't get lucky and get a crit or a dodge, he'll take one of your hearts. You have a certain number of hearts. If they take all of your hearts, you die. Then you can either spend gold to basically respawn, and if that doesn't work, you basically you're dead, and you start off at character level 0 again. Earlier, you said you didn't really like that at all, Jared.
Yeah, so for me, it was really frustrating when I got to, I think I was on like the 5th island, and I died, and I didn't have enough money to revive, and I didn't have the hearts to, I ran out of hearts, obviously, because I died. And it was like, it was over, and I had to start over from the very beginning, which I understand, but I don't know. I wish there was a continue button to start the island over or something, because, then I had to go and replay the same things, the same islands. And yeah, the islands don't really impact it that much. But it didn't allow, I lost you keep all the skills you've learned, but I wasn't getting new ones. So that I kind of lost that interesting part that was keeping me playing.
Right.
And it took me a long time to catch back up to where I was. I've only died once like that. And since then I've tried to keep more cash on hand, and it helps because when you're playing through and not having to buy anything because you already have the skills for those low levels,
sure,
you have a lot of cash on hand. So I'm getting pretty far again. Yeah, I think I'm about to where I was when I died. But I like the game. I think it's a fun little quick game, and it's really nice to be able to play and get through a level relatively quickly. And I think it's a really unique implementation. So I agree it's a great game. There's just a few little things that annoy me. You probably are going to want to buy the coin doubler in it.
Yeah, and the coin doubler is like really expensive in this game too. I think it was $3.99 when I saw it for sale. I don't know if maybe that's changed in price as well.
Yeah, I don't think it was that much when I bought it.
Or maybe it was $1.99. Maybe it was $1.99. I can't remember, but yeah, it was pretty expensive. But it is definitely well needed because you do need the extra money. It definitely comes in handy as you're playing the game. So yeah, that's in its essence what Scurvy Scallywags is. It's this really weird mix of match 3 puzzle, a kind of a strategy game with a little bit of tactics thrown into it, battles, building stuff. It's just this weird mixture of stuff that shouldn't work in any other planet, any other reality, the bizarro world. This mixture of game genres would not work at all. For some reason, Ron Gilbert must be a genius because he was able to get this working and have a really fun to play game basically appear when you play it. So I've been playing a lot of this. This is kind of my go-to. I have 5 minutes to play a game, so I go and I do an island mission, and then I basically go about my business, and that's that. It's one of those games that really lends itself well to that because it's match 3. It's like super pick up and play. It's not like you're going to forget what you were doing. You match 3 and that's it. But then all your quests and stuff can kind of just exist there. It's not really such a big deal if you forget your quests, because as you slowly work your way towards finding X number of Y, it updates on your screen and things like that. There's a full rash of achievements and other stuff like that if that's the type of gamer you are. It's just a really, really fun game. I'm enjoying it, and I'm gonna probably be playing it for a while now because there's achievements for getting to like level 50, and I think I'm level 17 or level 18. So I still got a ways to go, a long ways to go. And it's a fun game. So anyway, that's Scurvy Scallywags. Currently 99 cents on the App Store. As Jared said, it does go up and down kind of at will, however it feels. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I love absolutely everything about this game. I don't have really much anything bad to say about it, except for maybe the music. I had to turn the music off because it was getting really grating. It was kind of the same song that would kind of start and stop and start and stop. So if you could play your own music, that would be kind of nice. Other than that, pretty much a perfect game in my opinion. For $1, it's definitely a steal. Go check it out. So Scurvy Scallywags on the App Store, 99 cents. Check it out.
Cool.
All right, man. Well, that's going to about do it for the show. Thanks for joining me yet again, Jared.
It's always my pleasure.
And sorry to everybody listening for missing a week. We hopefully won't do that again in the near future. So let us know what you think. Head on over to VG Podcasts. Click contact us at the top of the I can't speak, which is really kind of scary because I got another show to do. Which is the music for it. That's really kind of odd. I got another show to do after this one, so hopefully my tongue works a little better. Click at the top of the page, send us an email. Email us directly at vgpodcast@gmail.com or call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts. That's going to do it for us this week. Take it easy, guys, and we'll talk to you next week. Later.